Hyperlapse on a drone. No way. What's up, guys? CJ here with another video. If you like these types of videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also hit that bell icon so you can get notifications whenever I release new videos. Today's video is going to be about doing hyperlapses on your DJI Mavic Pro 2. So this is my second time actually flying my drone, and I've seen a lot of videos about how to do a bunch of different things with your DJI Mavic Pro. One of the things that really caught my eye was doing the hyperlapses. So today I want to talk about my workflow and how I was able to create this super epic hyperlapse. So basically, I'm not going to show you exactly the menu options to get to the menu to make the hyperlapse, so I will talk you through it. The first thing you have to do is, of course, fly up to wherever you want your first position to be. There's a bunch of different hyperlapse modes that you can go to. They have one that's pulled straight forward. They have one where you can choose your path. They have one that's what's called free, so you can go in whatever kind of path that you want to. On this video, I'm going to be doing the one that goes straight forward. So essentially what you do is you go to your first position that you want to be in, and you click the go button, and it will create the hyperlapse moving in the forward position. The second hyperlapse that I did was from left to right. So basically what you would do is you would go to your first waypoint, your first position, and set that position, and then you would go to your second position, you would set that position, and then instead of flying back to your first position, you would push the reverse button. So what it'll do is it will get the hyperlapse in reverse from where you put the point A to point B. It'll actually go from point B to point A, and then you can reverse the footage and post if you want to, or you can keep it with the point B to point A. That just saves you some time and save you some battery life for the drone not having to go back to point A to actually start that hyperlapse. So let's jump right into the computer, and I'm going to show you how to do hyperlapses. All right, so the first thing you want to do is open up Lightroom, because that's where we're going to be uploading all of our photos to. All right, so open up your folder that has all of your hyperlapse photos in. I did 2 hyperlapses this time, so we'll actually work with the ones that are raw. So you'll Command A, select all of them, drag and drop them into Lightroom, supposedly. All right, and this is 125 photos. All right, so you want to go ahead and import. All right, once all the photos are imported, you want to click on develop. And the main thing here is you want to, since all of the frames should have the same exposure and different things like that, we're going to edit one photo and then we're going to apply it to all the rest of the photos automatically. So once you get here, we can go ahead and tweak this photo a little bit. This was kind of a little bit past golden hour. It was a little on the darker side, but the water and the sky was so blue, and I want to kind of capture that. So I'm going to make this photo a little bit on the bluer side. So we'll take the temp down. Let's see, kind of like that. Increase the exposure just a little bit. Increase the contrast a little bit. Up the highlights a little bit. Take down our shadows. We don't lose too much detail, but I want to highlight the water, the sky, and the sun. I always pump up my clarity because that really brings out the detail in the water and in the trees and different things like that. Let's see. We can dehaze just a little bit, kind of adds a vignette almost around that. We'll increase the vibrance. Was really going to pull out those blues in the water and in the sky, and then the yellows in the sun and the horizon. Bump up the saturation a little bit, and It's a little dark, so I may knock up the exposure just a bit so you can see, and we may have to go back in and tweak a couple of other things here. And this is just edited to your liking, however you want your photo or your hyperlapse to look. So I'm pretty happy with this. So what you do is you want to click on this little plus sign. You'll say create preset, and I always just name it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to say 1 right now, and it's got everything on there. You want to press create. All right, so now that you have it created, go back to your library. You'll do Command A. That's going to select everything, and then over here on Save Presets, you want to click on that. Go to User Presets, and you will click your preset setting. Now, let me tell you this. You want to make sure that it has time to apply the preset to all of your photographs, because if you don't, you'll have, some of them will be applied to, some of it won't be applied to, and then your video will end up looking weird and you'll be mad. So just wait for it, give it time to apply it to all of the photos. So it has at this point. So now we can Command A. That's going to select everything, and we can export our photos. Actually, you just click that. Export, and then I'll put it in a new folder, maybe. I try to break these up into folders because there's so many files, and then you don't want to mix them up together. So I'll say that's going to be 3. Create that, choose, and you will export your raw photos. Now this is going to take a while because these are very large photos and there's a lot of them. So we'll come back once all of the photos are exported. All right, now that our photos have been exported, we're going to open up Premiere Pro. And that's where we're going to import our photos into, and our hyperlapse will be essentially created. Obviously, you're going to create a video file of this, so you can push your colors, your color grading even further once you actually make that video file. Import, and you want to go to wherever you saved your, and I would just import the entire file. All right, go ahead and open that file up, and you will Command A. That's going to select everything. Right click and go to speed duration, and you want to change this to 1 frame. Okay. Now you're going to drag this onto this little paper icon, and it's going to actually create your sequence for you. All right, so this is essentially your hyperlapse, but you want to make sure that everything is as smooth as possible. So select all of your frames, right click, nest, and we're going to apply a warp stabilizer to this. So click on that, go to fix, warp stabilizer, double click. Now it's going to take quite some time to analyze each frame. I have a pretty fast processor, so it doesn't take as long on my computer, but if you have a slower computer, it's going to take quite a while to this part. So we'll be back once that is complete. Do about 20%, and it will not warp it so much that it looks kind of weird, but you may have to play with it for a little bit just to make sure that it will be stabilized like you want it to be. So once that's done, you will have your hyperlapse, and you can export that. So let me show you the settings that I use to export. I export different files, different file types for different things. But for this drone footage and the hyperlapse specifically, I do that in QuickTime. And then I go to the preset for GoPro Cineform RGB 12-bit with alpha at maximum bit depth. And then I also increase the quantity to 5, and I click use maximum render quality. I can't talk. And that's it. You go here and you export your photo, and this is the result. So that's going to be it today, guys. That is super simple, super easy. I'm going to make some more videos with my DJI Mavic Pro 2. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the quick shots and showing you what those look like. I'm also going to be doing some more tutorials on some of the creative things that you can do with your footage. And I just ordered my Polar Pro Indie filter, so we're going to be playing around with those, see what kind of footage we can get with that. If you want to see any of those types of videos, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next one.